They say money makes the world go round, but history whispers a darker truth to us. Money can also drive the world into a spiral of madness. Today, I will tell you about a moment when one man was so wealthy that the alms he distributed along his journey were enough to paralyze the economy of an entire empire for a decade. Mansa Musa, the 14th century emperor of Mali. According to historians, he was not just a king, but a guardian of capital who controlled half of the world's gold reserves, eclipsing even today's billionaires. Yet his legendary pilgrimage in 1324 was not merely a religious duty. It was the greatest supply shock in history and an unintended experiment in financial destruction. People believe that money can buy everything. Mansa Musa taught us that having too much money can actually destroy money itself. Get ready. To understand the limits of wealth and how a gold bubble burst, we are entering the deepest, dustiest pages of history. This is Finance Through Time. While Europe in the 14th century was struggling with wars, plague, and famine, an empire in West Africa had become the world's gold vault. The Mali Empire was producing nearly half of the gold in circulation at the time. For Mansa Musa, gold was not a rare investment asset. It was a raw material as abundant as sand. However, according to historical data beyond primary sources, Musa's power did not come solely from mines. He had built a centralized system controlling trade routes, salt, and ivory. Just like the Titanic's unsinkable image, the Malian economy appeared indestructible. But every economic power carries its own arrogance and risk within it. When Mansa Musa decided to go on pilgrimage in 1324, this was not merely a personal act of worship, it was a global display of status. His caravan included 60,000 men, thousands of slaves, and hundreds of camels, each carrying dozens of kilograms of gold. This was not just a journey, it was a massive liquidity flow moving through the desert. Musa built mosques in every city he passed through and distributed handfuls of gold to the poor. When he reached Cairo, he was so generous that he bought everything in the markets with gold and left every beggar with a fortune. But there was something Mansa Musa did not know. Injecting such an enormous amount of money into the market all at once was tearing the fabric of the economy apart. Shortly after Mansa Musa left Cairo, something strange happened in the city. The value of gold suddenly collapsed, because now everyone had gold. With demand remaining the same, while supply increased so uncontrollably, one of the most famous hyperinflation crises in history was triggered. The prices of bread, milk, and cloth soared to unimaginable levels. People became unable to buy anything with the gold they held. While trying to do good, Mansa Musa had effectively killed the value of money. Just as in the Dutch tulip mania, where prices detached from utility and relied solely on belief, gold in Cairo also lost its credibility as a financial instrument. According to broader economic data beyond primary sources, this crisis pushed the Middle Eastern economy into a collapse from which it could not recover for more than a decade. One man's generosity had vaporized the savings of thousands. When Mansa Musa realized the destruction he had caused, he did something remarkable. On his return journey, he began borrowing gold at high interest in order to pull gold out of circulation. This can be considered one of the first central bank interventions in history. By reducing the money, gold, in circulation, Musa tried to restore its value. This shows us that wealth is not just about how much you have, but about the scarcity of that amount in the market and how it moves in balance. As with the Titanic, when a system collapses, what matters is not how much gold you have, but whether the system itself is functioning. The story of Mansa Musa is a mirror held up to today's economies that print money without backing, and to bubbles that promise easy profits. History does not repeat itself, but it rhymes. The trillions of dollars injected into markets by central banks today are not fundamentally different from the gold Mansa Musa scattered through the streets of Cairo. Both carry the same warning: abundance can produce devaluation. Mansa Musa broke gold. Today we are breaking paper and digital code. Illusions always collapse, and only reality remains. Which economic caravan are you following right now? Are you watching the gold being distributed? Or are you considering that one day it may become as worthless as grains of sand? If this story gave you a new perspective, subscribe. History has answers, and I will show you where to look.